Helicopters come in all shapes and sizes. They are categorized by their weight, number of engines, payload, and passenger carrying capacities. Helicopters not exceeding 7,000 pounds with 9 or less passenger seats classify as small aircraft, whereas rotorcraft at or exceeding 20,000 pounds are included in large category. From undertaking light and heavy airlift, medical, military, surveillance, search and rescue missions, and beyond, helicopters are a great contribution to humankind and come in diverse configuration to suit each deployment. So let us start at the bottom of the technology chain and work our way up on commonly known rotorcraft. A small rotorcraft will have a two-bladed horizontal main rotor assembly mounted on a pylon above the fuselage. By looking at which side of the fuselage the tail rotor is mounted, you can tell how the main rotor spins. US manufactured helicopter rotors mostly rotate counterclock, hence their tail rotors mount on left side of the fuselage. In addition to providing a means for directional control, the tail rotor provides a control counter thrust to prevent this type of helicopters rotating clockwise in reaction to the main rotor torque. There is a fixed horizontal stabilizer mounted on the tail fuselage that gives longitudinal stability in forward flight and a vertical stabilizer or fin that gives directional stability. These helicopters come with skids. Next, we look at a three-blade main rotor type with a fenestron at the tail. The fenestron, which is a shrouded tail fan, provides an improved margin for directional control whilst being protected from inadvertent contact with the ground, also posing lesser hazard to ground personnel. Here too you will find the horizontal and vertical stabilizers located on the tail fuselage. The four-blade model is another kind that comes on both wheels and skids. The skids can put on wheels to enable ground handling. These models have a variable incidence horizontal stabilizer on the rear fuselage that is used to exert longitudinal trim in forward flight. It is also equipped with in-wheel parking brakes and a steerable nose wheel. Some of these helicopters border in being in the large rotorcraft category given their weight and capacity specs. And then there is the large twin-engine rotorcraft. Some are very large and stand as tall as the Boeing 737, the heavy-lifting Mi-26 Russian Beast being one. Most large helicopters run on 5 or 6 blades, but the Mi-26 runs on an 8-blade rotor. Some of these giants have cast-string wheel. This type of wheel can be center locked by the pilot to prevent inadvertent swing when the helicopter is operating with the rotor turning while stationary on the ground. The main wheels are equipped with parking brakes. Some of these helicopters are designed with hull that can stay afloat in event of ditching and have inflatable buoyancy equipment to prevent rolling over when ditched. You might think you have seen it all, but not till you see this. A US-made Chinook has two main contra-rotating rotors, no tail, and is quite large, mostly in use with militaries around the world. Power transmission system to both rotors is synchronized so that the blades will intermesh without touching. Normally, a twin-engine machine, a Chinook can function on a single engine that can rotate with both rotor systems in case of failure of one engine. Another contra-rotating rotor example is the coaxially mounted rotor system like on the Russian Ka-52 Kamov. Like in the Chinook, the rotors balance each other's torque reaction for stalling requirement for anti-torque measures. Directional and longitudinal control in flight may be provided by incorporation of rotors and elevators on the tail fuselage. Let us now take the gander out at the hybrid 500 km/h Eurocopter X3, the best of both worlds, its own way. It carries a main rotor and two side-mounted contra inward rotating propellers that provide anti-torque hover and forward flight thrust. Unlike the Osprey, which has wing-mounted swivel engines that tilt on the y-axis for forward flight, the X3 is more of a rotorcraft. Another variant of this type is the Sikorsky Boeing SB-1 Defiant. The helicopter is capable of speeds in excess of 500 kph and showcases a pusher prop, contra-rotating main blades, horizontal and vertical stabilizers, elevator and rotor surfaces. Things will continue to change as technology improves. What won't change is the role of helicopters as the mainstay across both civilian and military spectrum. Blue skies.